Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, before I get started, I was watching a little bit of Brock TV's reviews, because I still enjoy watching his reviews from time to time. Which, by the way, we had totally different experiences with the whole COVID shot. Like, I didn't get any of the stuff that he got. And by the way, they didn't even sit there and tell me that I had to sit there and drink like fluids like throughout the day. I didn't get any symptoms, headaches, or anything like that. The only thing that really did wind up happening was that my arm hurt like hell. But I guess it depends on the person and I guess which one that you get. But something that we can definitely agree on is that this episode was pretty good. And I gotta start with the whole Sasha and Cyrus scene. Jesus Christ. The way Sasha came at Cyrus, I mean, she didn't just poke the bear. She practically eviscerated him. I mean, she came down so hard on him, talking about, like, just really digging into his whole manhood. And they're talking about he was great in bed, he had a great body, he gave me something that you didn't give me. And I was like, wow. Listen, no man likes to be eviscerated by a woman like that. Okay? She gave it to him so bad that I felt it. Okay? It was that bad. The look on his face, the way his eyes bulged out of his head, I was like, yo, you good? You need some water? You need to sit down a little bit? Like, I mean, for a good minute, it started off like, you know, she was like working her way up, but when she got in him, and Cyrus with his whole, oh, I just want to sit there and care about you. I just want to make sure that this guy is taking responsibility. Which, by the way, maybe I didn't see it. In the beginning, he didn't really seem like he was that invested. Yeah, he probably thought she was pretty and, you know, like, I don't know. Like, he's being a lot more obsessive with her than he was the first time. The first time, maybe he was just playing coy, just giving her a little something, just to kind of hang out and, you know, be his trophy or whatever. But now it's like, I want to know who's the father of your baby, this, that, and the third. But with that being said, you know, Sasha's like, you know, the person was a random guy, you know, just a random guy, no names, no sob stories, nothing, just, you know, in and out, and that was it. So, you won't get to know because I don't know. Stop sending your drivers, stop sending anyone else because it's going to be the cops, it's going to be the law. You don't want that. Just walk away. After that verbal beat down that Sasha gave Cyrus, I was surprised that his legs still worked. And when he walked out, and Sasha was like, you know, because she had to breathe for him and like, you know, this is going to be the last. But, yeah, she really, like, gave it to him. Like I said, I felt that. As a man, I felt that. So I was like, Jesus Christ. I'm surprised he's able to still stand after that. But, let's get into the whole Gladys and Carly thing. I'm just not there thinking about the stuff that Brock TV said about her. But yeah, Gladys is a moron. Okay? So when Carly explains to Gladys, hey, listen, you know, Sasha's the one that's pregnant by, you know, Brando's the father of Sasha's baby. At first, she's all, like, in denial, and she's, like, talking a whole bunch of, like, mess about her, and I was like, wow, you are... You know, the really sad part is that every now and then, at my job, I run into a goddamn Gladys. So seeing her on the screen is just like, another Gladys. But yeah, she's talking all sorts of smack about her. But after Carly lays down the law, it's like, listen, you know, you told Cyrus that, like, she's pregnant. The minute that, he finds out that it's Brando, he's going to kill him. And, even Gladys was like, yeah, and it would be all my fault. Yes. Yes, it would. And the sad thing for me, and I know it sounds dickish, but I don't really even care about, like, her, like, if that I would have cared about Brando, but, like, I would have blamed her. I would have blamed her. And be like, this is all your fault, and you have nobody to blame except for yourself. But yeah, she realized that Brando can get killed, so she's like, what can I do? At some point, Brando comes over, because he left Sasha or whatever. He comes over, and, Carly's like, listen, all we have to do is recant your story. And at first, Gladys is like, well, no, I mean, that's what I saw. I saw the truth. Like, it was Jason. I'm literally sitting there looking at this chick like, this woman just told you your son's life is in danger unless you do something. Like, as in, the right thing. It just makes me question, has this woman ever did the right thing in her life at any point in time? But, yeah, she's still sitting there holding out like, no, I said the truth. I did my civic duty. I was like, yo, this chick is, But finally, because Brando's like, yo, just stop lying. Just tell the truth. Like, and then she's like, well, if I tell the truth, I'm going to have a target painted on my back. Like, Cyrus is going to kill me and Brando. I'm pretty sure Carly was like, I got you. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about Cyrus. I got your back or whatever. I'm like, yo, you're just going to have faith in Carly to keep your son safe. Because, you are, I was going to sit there and try to make a joke to sit there and say you are a good mother. But, I mean, I can't even joke about that at this point. But I guess we will see if Gladys decides to do the right thing and protect her son. Or is she going to let the greed get the best of her? And why do I have a feeling it's going to be option number 2? When Laura brings over Nicholas, Laura's like, listen, just so you know, the game's changed with me and Cyrus. He doesn't consider us siblings, and, well, I'm just now his enemy. That being said, he just threatened you because, your whole, plan of Pentonville and everything like that to take over Pentonville. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, this is going to be another one of her lectures about how, he shouldn't be doing that and he should just sit there and back off. But she's like, yeah, no, I'm totally backing you on that play to obtain, Pentonville, not just for this reason or that. But I was just surprised. I was like, wait, really? You're not going to sit there and give him a lecture about how he shouldn't be doing this and yada yada yada? You're okay now with it? Why? But she does sit there and ask, like, are you going to be able to sit there and take care of yourself? Anyway, they're going to be forming some sort of plan or something. I'm not really too sure. I know Laura was like, we need to come up with a real plan, not just y'all throwing some sort of fancy wedding in his face, because that's just, once again, poking a damn bear. Which again, I'm surprised that Sasha came at Cyrus that way. Like, I understand that she wanted to sit there and, like, misdirect him, say it was just some random guy or something, but she could have did that without, it's almost as though they forgot that Cyrus is a killer, I feel like it's one of those things where it was like, Cyrus, I think you may not have to shoot somebody again. I mean, not necessarily kill them, but, a little warning shot or something, just to kind of wake them up, because, even when I was there looking at Sasha's scene and I was enjoying it, I was like, you do realize that he's a killer, right? And although he may not kill you, he may kill somebody that you're close to. Because he can. And now, Laura's not there back in this play, and I'm just like, alright, I get that, but, like, did you forget who he is? I guess they're going to come up with a plan. I hope. Maybe. Oh, let's get to the Dante and Sam part. So Dante comes in, and he comes in with a flat tire. He literally just rolls that on in. And, he pretty much was like, and like you pretty much slashed my tires. And, you did this sit there and try to help Jason. There's one point where Dante's like, because, and it's funny too, because I wrote the notes right after Sam was like, my children are my world. My children are my world. Because Dante's like, why would you sit there and be doing this? You're going after Jason, you're doing all this other stuff. You could be going to jail. Like, if it wasn't me and another cop, you'd be going to jail. And Sam says something along the lines of, my children are my world. And I'm like, if your children are your world, then why would you risk it by trying to, stop Dante from doing his job? If your children are your world. And I don't remember what answer she gave, but honestly, to tell you the truth, I'm not going to lie, it almost seemed like it didn't really matter. Because I'm like, why, like, he has a point. He has a point. But they talk a little more, and Dante just kind of just reinforces the fact that, listen, I'm gonna let you go because, you've been helping me out, but, like, this whole, like, you trying to stop me from what I'm trying to do, it's not gonna work out for you. Because eventually, you're either gonna try to stop me, or you're gonna stop me in front of somebody else, and you're gonna go back to jail. I don't want that. Livy's gonna be looking at me sideways, so how about we just stop doing that? And, Dante even knows that most likely Jason didn't kill Franco, but it's the other stuff that he did afterwards that he has to sit there and go after him for. Now, at some point, he does sit there and say, so he comes in there with an invoice. He's like, here you go, this is the cost of my tires. And at first, Sam was like, what, you came in here with this invoice? Like you want me to sit there and pay for these tires? And I'm like, yeah, what's the problem? I mean, seriously, it's not like she doesn't actually have money. So, why would she sit there looking at it all like side-eye, like, you want me to pay that amount? Like she doesn't have it. Like you're not, well, I know she's not married to Jason or anything like that, but she does get money from Jason. I'm pretty sure she was getting money from Drew, and she gets money from a company that she doesn't even run, and yet you're sitting there looking at him side-eye, like, he bought like a Lamborghini and he's asking you to like fix a door or something. Like, come on, it's a couple of tires. Like, and at first, she's looking at Dante like, oh, you're giving me this, like, why you can't pay for it? It's like, sweetheart, it's the principle of the whole damn thing. So she does sit there and write it. She's like, oh, I don't sit there and keep money on me, so here's a check. Okay, Sam. Anyway, she writes a check, and then she gets knocked on the door, and Dante rips up the check. And it was just pretty much just to prove a point, And once again, when Dante was asking for the money, she was like, oh, you're still back to sit there and try to make me pay for it? I'm like, really, sweetheart? Like, you can't pay for those tires? I'm pretty sure you can pay for 3 of those cars with the amount of money that Jason gives you. So, like, okay, sure, whatever. But I did think it was a good scene. I think at this point we all know what's going to probably wind up happening. The whole romance is going to get back on track, which probably no one really wants, but it wouldn't be the first time a writer didn't sit there, that a writer decided to not listen to what the fans wanted. Happens way more than you think. Especially on days, from what I understand. Now, there's one point when Laura's like, you're buying the prison, telling Nicholas, like, you're buying the prison, just sit there and do something good and help out your aunt, right? And Nicholas goes back to that flashback when Sean was talking about trying to get out of jail so that way he can find out who really shot Hayden Barnes. So Nicholas is going to do everything he can to make sure that he does not get out, and yeah, I guess we'll just wait and see on that. Speaking of that, Sean talks to TJ, and he pretty much tells him about how he's going to sit there and try to, you know, go for parole, try to get his name cleared and stuff like that. So when he's done sitting there talking to TJ, by the way, Alexis's friend Maggie, I think that's her name. Well, she's getting parole, and she thanks Alexis for that. So Sean walks up to Alexis, and Sean is like, "Listen, I need your help since they're trying to make parole." So at first, this is where things get a little kind of tricky, and I don't understand most of it because I did kind of take a hiatus from Jade for a little bit. There's a part where Alexa's like, you need to sit there and show remorse, Like, first part is, well, I don't remember what the first part is. Second part is, showing remorse for a crime, for the crime that you did. And Sean is like, I'm not going to sit there and show remorse for something I didn't do. Like, I didn't actually shoot Hayden Barnes. But, Alexa's like, do you feel sorry for just picking up the gun, just shooting in general? Like, even though you didn't actually shoot her, somebody still got hit. I'm pretty sure it was Olivia, but, like, somebody got hit. So, like, do you feel bad about that? And that's when Sean was like, yeah. So, at that point, Alexa was like, it's something I can work with. But there's a certain part where, I think Alexis might have asked, like, what's the circumstances of the shooting? Like, how did this whole thing come about? This is where Sean is like, and this is just my gathering, because I'm still a little confused about that. Because Sean was working for Sonny. Now, Sean doesn't want to sit there and throw Sonny under the bus, even though that, everyone thinks he's dead, even though there's no body. He thinks he's dead. Even though he thinks he's dead, he still doesn't want to throw him under the bus. It's just something about the fact that he's doing that just feels wrong to him. And that's just my gathering from the whole situation, from the little knowledge I actually know about the whole shooting thing. Anyway, hopefully they can sit there and work it out and Sean can get back out there. Before I go, I did miss this part yesterday, and I kind of want to sit there and talk about it because I don't know how I missed it. So, this is yesterday with Sonny and that guy, and Sonny was sitting there saying, next time you run into a little bit of trouble as far as money is concerned, you hit me up, and, I'll sit there and help you out. And I'm sitting there thinking, this is after, and I was sitting there thinking about this all morning. I was like, Sonny, how are you actually going to help this guy with money? Like, you don't seem like the type of person that really has a lot of money. Like, the majority of the money that we saw you had, you gave it to Phyllis and Lenny for, rebuilding Tano. So what money are you talking about? Like, he literally was like, yeah, next time, you run into a little money trouble, whatever, I got you. And I was like, well, what, Monopoly money? Like, what are you going to give this guy? I don't know why I missed that yesterday. And part of me almost wanted to sit there and record it again, but I was like, you know what, I'll just sit there and talk about it today, because that was something that was just kind of driving me up the wall, and it was driving me up the wall particularly because I didn't even mention it until afterwards. And it just sit there, and I guess it also made me sit there and think about it, because I know Maurice has been getting a lot of, emails and stuff like that, telling him to go back to the status quo, me and Sonny. And I feel like I could do a whole video about that, because I feel very split. On one hand, I want him to go back to being Sonny, okay? This whole side story crap needs to end. It needed to end months ago. But it's not like it's not a good story. There is interesting stuff that's happening regarding his story. And if you kind of look at it from a character's perspective, it's really interesting, because this is Sonny that actually has to get his hands dirty. He doesn't get to order somebody around. He doesn't get to sit there and threaten someone with his name. He actually has to do the actual work. But yeah, I just thought about that. He was like, yeah, I'll help you out with some money. I was like, what money? Because, I mean, up to this point, are they even actually paying him? Or like, I felt that statement so silly yesterday, and I don't know why I didn't think about it, but it just made me think about it today. Tomorrow's episode, I'm gonna be honest, I have a lot of misgivings about it. Because I look at that episode, and I know that unless it really has something to do, I feel like it doesn't have anything to, like, it's a completely side story, and it's a dedication to this actor that passed away recently that was on the show. But I feel like it's one of those side stories, and it's like, in a way, I feel like if I miss it, I'm not really missing much of anything. It reminds me of when Scotty's mom died, passed away. And that's because the actress passed away in real life. And then they did another episode where they went on a scavenger hunt. Like, everyone in the hospital. Even Julian Jerome was there. And I was like, okay, this is... First of all, no one likes Julian. Why are you even here for? And it just was one of those side stories that I just wound up fast-forwarding through because it didn't really, like... It didn't do anything for me. Now, I do give GH, days, a lot of these different soap operas, a lot of props when they, find ways to pay respects to the actors that have been on the show, some ways that they honor them. Even Lila, especially Edward, but even Lila, I still have her picture up there, and it's really nice, so I do really... Like, it's something that's really cool that they do. But as far as watching an actual episode of something that's, like, not going on with anything that's now, I'm kind of hesitant about it. So, I'm not too sure if I'm actually going to do a review on it tomorrow. I guess I'll start watching it and see how it goes, but, yeah, I'm kind of on the fence about that. But with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank everyone for watching. Be safe. Let me know what your thoughts are in the episode in the comment section below. I want to thank everyone for watching again, because I really do enjoy hearing what everyone has to say. It's always really interesting, and it's some stuff that sometimes I don't even sit there and think of. So I want to thank everyone for that. Be safe. I will catch you in the next video.